We try to pop a shell, he jumps out of the shell. We get plucked. We're going to wiggle around a little bit. We got our wiggle shoes on, trying to group them. We're going to use our ultimate. We get 1, we get 2, we toss them, we root them, Uller gets some damage off, we throw our 1, and we are able to clean them up and get ourselves out of there. That is the kind of play we want. Now I feel a lot more comfortable going mid. What a do, skibbity boo, it's your boy SeanyB Gaming, and today we have a viewer request to play Xing Tian as support. We're going to be using the Gecko Gladiator skin that just came out on the 7.9 patch. If you are new to the channel, I upload every single day. If you are a returning viewer, I just got back from vacation and I had a blast, but now it's time to grind some Smite. So let's go ahead and review Xing Tian's kit. Xing Tian's 1 is a line attack that is going to reduce the enemy's basic attack damage. It's also going to apply a tick damage to the enemy. This tick damage is going to reduce the enemy's maximum amount of health. Caps out at 3% per tick at level 5. Xing Tian's 2 is a great form of crowd control. He has an initial cone that he's going to knock enemies up, and then he's going to have a circle around him in which he slams enemies down and roots them. So if you miss the knockup, you can still root them with the second attack in the 2. Xing Tian's 3, Xing is going to dash. Once he lands, he's going to be able to dash again within 3 seconds. While he's in the air, he's going to gain increased protections, which are refreshed if he connects with the target on his 3. Xing Tian's ultimate, he's going to spin around and grab enemies, and then he's going to throw them in the direction that he's facing. Damage is dealt on the initial grab, 3 times during the spin, and 1 time on the throw. Xing Tian's passive, every time he damages an enemy with an ability, he's going to gain a stack of HP 5 that lasts 18 seconds. You can have a maximum of 12 stacks. So at the beginning of this game, we were able to get to lane a little bit faster because we had Hand of the Gods and the enemy Sobek did not buy Hand of the Gods. Uller misses his axe. Right now we only have our 1, so we're looking to maybe get them grouped with some minions before casting it. Not too much we can do right now, and Uller lost a decent amount of his health. We get our line attack off. We do want to try to get some basics off. We don't want to just stand there and do nothing. So at level 1 we put a point into our 1. At level 2 we're going to put a point into our 2, so we get a little bit of setup for our Uller. Unfortunately he misses his axe again. We're able to hit our line attack. We're getting some good damage off. Hopefully Uller can follow up a little bit. We're going to have to fall back just a tad bit. Pop a health potion. We still have our shell in case we need it. In terms of the start, we went with Guardian's Blessing. Then we went with the tier 1 boots. We bought 4 health potions and we bought the Hand of the Gods. The enemy jungler is here, so we're going to want to start backing up and pop a shell onto our Uller. We're going to go ahead and knock and root these 2 people up. And then we're going to go ahead and start backing it up. And we are able to successfully get out. Our jungler is rotating in, so this might be worth trying to re-engage on. We're trying to bait a little bit. He's making a play for the Cern. We hit him with our 1. Cern uses his beads. There's a shell popped. Cern won't have his beads until 5 minutes. So we got some relics. That was a good rotation just to get the relics. Unfortunately, nobody goes down. We don't have a whole lot of mana, and I feel like Xing burns through mana relatively quickly. So we're going to try to address that pretty early on by getting the Stone of Binding instead of going straight into Gauntlet of Thebes. Our purple's up, so I'm telling Uller we should go ahead and hit this. We're going to make our way back to the lane. We're trying to get enough money to get our boots online. Making sure Sobek can't get the pluck onto the Uller. He misses his pluck. We're going to get our line attack onto the minions. Just cleaning up wave. They never made the rotation to get their purple buff. So they have lane advantage, but we are actually a little bit higher in level. Oh, we got to be careful here. We might go down here. We're going to have to dash away with our 3. We let Uller know that we're trying to back here. We might have just enough money to get our boots online, but we will not have enough money for any potions. We're going to go ahead and pick up the cooldown boots. With Xing Tian as support, I think the lifesteal boots, you don't get as much value. The 10% cooldown and being able to crowd control people with your 2 and then be able to use your ult more often, I think it's very valuable. We aren't really going to be picking up a whole lot of cooldown in our first 3 items, so getting some cooldown on the boots just makes sense to me. It's also going to give us a little bit of power, which should help us clear lane and help this Uller out. They are missing and left, so we can kind of assume that they're going for the purple. They might have backed. We're going to go ahead and do some investigating. Sobek's here. He just decides to jump. Very common thing to do as support. Not always able to get a lot of damage off, so sometimes it's best to just say hi and keep going. So when do we rotate to mid as support? Right now I feel like Uller could use a little bit of help still. Churn dashes through. That was just bad timing on us. We kind of used our combo in a poor way that Churn was just easily able to dash out of. So I feel like Uller is not necessarily set. If I feel like Uller could handle these 2 people, I would rotate mid, but I don't have that vibe quite yet. We just got our ultimate. We get the root onto the Sobek, but we're pretty weak. We get plucked. Sobek's gonna ult. We pop our shell a little bit early right there. We almost have our dash, but Sobek is able to clean us up before we're able to dash out. Unfortunate. That was a good pluck by him and a very bad shell by me. So we are going to be going into the Stone of Binding up next. The Stone of Binding is going to give us 30 magical power. It's going to give us 30 magical and 30 physical protections. It's also going to give us 10 MP5. This 10 MP5 will really help us with our mana management. The passive on Stone of Binding, successfully hitting an enemy god with a crowd control will place a debuff on the enemy, reducing their magical and physical protections by 10 for 5 seconds. So whenever we land our 2 on an enemy, we're going to reduce their protections for everybody on our team. This item is a nice little hybrid, little flex item. It's going to give us a little bit of power, a little bit of defense, and it's going to allow us to set our team up a little bit more often. Normally, as support, I usually go Gauntlet of Thebes as my second item because Gauntlet of Thebes is just absolutely ridiculous for the price. You get over 100 combined protections, you provide protections to your teammates, and you get 300 health for 2,350 gold, which is just one of the best priced items in the game. So we will be going into that after Stone of Binding, but Stone of Binding is going to just kind of allow us to transition from the early game to the mid game.
Enemy ultimate down.
We're kind of hanging out in jungle. We're thinking about rotating mid, but there's also some people stacking in left. So we see 2 people over there. Looks like Tsukiyomi's kind of retreating, so I tell him to go back left. We're coming. Raw is no longer coming left, so we're able to kind of zone him away from the rotation. We get the root onto the Sobek. We're going to ult 2. We get some good damage. That's the beads from the CERN. He uses his beads after being ulted, so that was kind of a waste by him. Tsukiyomi uses his ultimate. There is a shell popped by the enemy team. Tsukiyomi does not get the pick. Right now we're trying to extract Tsukiyomi. It is probably time to back up. We don't know where the enemy jungler is, and our jungler's been over here. Yep, here's the Thor. Right here we're just trying to make sure that our Uller makes it out for the last one up, so we're just going to dash back. That Sobek pluck could have been problematic if we got hit by it. In most support games, I definitely feel like I am mid by now, but I feel like I'm needed in left this game. We're going to see if we can get a kill or 2 and then rotate out. We're going to have our ult in 20. We also have the beads timer for CERN, and we know that Sobek doesn't have beads. So we could probably use a pretty big ultimate to set up this Uller. We try to pop a shell, he jumps out of the shell. We get plucked. We're going to wiggle around a little bit. We got our wiggle shoes on, trying to group them. We're going to use our ultimate. We get 1, we get 2, we toss them, we root them, Uller gets some damage off, we throw our 1, and we are able to clean them up and get ourselves out of there. That is the kind of play we want. Now I feel a lot more comfortable going mid. We got 2 kills in that lane. Uller should be able to get this purple, go back to lane, and just keep stacking. I assume he's stacking Transcendence. We pick up Stone of Binding. Now we should be able to use our abilities a little bit more freely now that we have 10 MP5. We're going to make our way to mid. I feel like Uller is good to go.
Enemy missing rate.
He's got 2 levels on Churn. If Sobek still goes over there and it makes it a 2v1, Uller is just going to level up faster than the Cernunos, because they'll be splitting farm and Uller will not be. So we're making our way mid. Ra's here. We get the knock up and the root. We get him to use his beads. Good to know. So now if we want to ult him in 20 seconds, he's not going to be able to do anything. He does have his ultimate. That's probably his only form of CC immunity. Sobek's rotated mid, so now Uller versus Cernunos. And left, I have a feeling that Uller should be okay. We're going to go ahead and hit these smalls. Once we rotate mid with support, or as support, we want to help our mid secure as many camps as possible. So we get very aggressive. We know that Ra did not have his beads. We try to ult him. We get pinched by a bunch of people. We're going to start wiggling around. Looks like nobody's focusing us. There is a Sobek ult, so we're going to dash out of that. Looks like we dodged the Thor ult as well. Merlin's kind of camping out, trying to see if he can cast an ability on some people. We get our line attack off. We're pretty weak, so we're probably not trying to fight too much here. We just want to make sure that Merlin is safe.
Yes.
If Tsukiyomi is here, that's extra, but we're really concerned on just focusing with Merlin. Tsukiyomi is going to be rotating in and out. We're going to be sticking to the Merlin like Lil. Hitting every camp we can, even this single harpy that does not give a whole lot of gold or XP. We're hitting all of these camps because once we rotate mid, we're now splitting farm with Merlin. In order for Merlin to not fall behind, we have to hit camps plus to the wave. I tell Merlin, bye, I'm gonna go rotate right. We're gonna go tussle over here for a little bit. Very iffy. We're like, alright, he's back in tower. Let's check their blue. Their blue is not there. Let's retreat, see if he comes out of tower. He does not really. He kinda does. We're gonna go with the tier. Help him get this blue buff. He's wearing the enemy blue, so he actually wanted us to wear the blue. We're gonna dash in onto this King Arthur. Tier is very far away. Very poor ultimate by me. Nobody around to follow up. So that is probably a decent tip that Tier's going in hard. We're going to tank it for him. Thor comes in. We're going to get the root onto the Thor. We're sticking to the Tier. We pop a shell onto him. We're going to throw our 1 onto the King Arthur. Get one of our dashes onto the Thor, and now we're going to back it up. Tier's still fighting it. We're going to help him out as much as we can. We get the knock up and the root onto the Thor. We get some damage onto him. Thor's going to have to ult out. Looks like me and Tier are going to be able to just back up and get out of here. We were able to get the tier 1 tower, so our rotation right was helpful. Getting the tower is going to give everybody on our team a little bit of gold. Now we're working with our Merlin to secure the enemy red. It is there. So we're going to re-ping it for him. We're going to go ahead and start it. We know that their Ra is nearby. We're still kind of just baiting it, seeing if anybody's going to come and fall for the bait. Thor was able to secure his red. A little unfortunate, but we were able to get the smalls. We're going to go ahead and work on the Oracle. Tsukiyomi's working on the red buff. So Merlin picks up red. We know he's got to make a rotation back to mid, so we're going to start with small. Merlin was able to get a lot of XP on that. He got the 2 smalls from the red. He got the Oracle XP. I think he got some of our red XP, and then he got the mid Harpy XP. So we're doing a pretty good job at keeping him fed with camps. Right now we are a level 10, a little under leveled, but I feel like overall we're doing a good job at funneling farm to our teammates. Tier's a little far up, so we're going to see if there's anything we can do to help him out. It looks like Tsukiyomi is rotating as well. We're skipping the wave in mid. 2 people here. We get the knockup and the root onto the Raw. We're going to go ahead and ult him, throw him outside of his heal. We cast our 1. We're able to get the damage onto the Raw. We're going to try to stick to the King Arthur. If we could dash in front of him and body block him, very optimistic. We're going to dash back, see if we can help our teammates with this enemy. We're going to put a ward so we know that if King Arthur is coming back into the fight, we'll have vision on him. We're going to go ahead and just tank the tower for our teammates. We're able to secure that, clean up the wave in mid, and then let's go ahead and rotate to Gold Fury. So as support, I feel like we're doing a pretty good job at shot calling. We're helping guide our team around the map to camps, helping secure structure kills, and going for objectives. As support, I feel like you can definitely take the lead on what you want your team to be doing. I feel like jungle, mid, and support are kind of the best roles for shot calling. We're going to rotate left, see if we can get the Sir Nunez. That is Stash. We're going to jump on him. We missed the knockup, but we're able to get the root. We're body blocking a little bit. Cooler's able to get the pick. We're going to go ahead and make a play for the tower. Thor is using his ultimate and the enemy team surrenders. Well, if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. I'm back, happy to be here. Get ready for some more Smite videos. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you had a great time. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.